Welcome back, everybody. My name is Sue Ann Penna. I'm joined by my guest host, Eddie Malavarca, and Anthony Colandro from Gun for Hire. Anthony, over the break, we were talking about really what the roots of gun control are and where it's embedded. So I think it's important for us to really talk about that a little bit more.
Anyone with a minority background, and I'm half Italian, half German. My grandparents came to this country, didn't speak the language. All gun control laws have their roots in racism and discrimination because it was always, not to pick, but the white blue bloods wanted to create the laws and create a two-tiered system in this country so that there's the haves and the have-nots. It's much easier to keep someone as a subject than an equal citizen by limiting things that they can do, moving about, owning property, and firearms being the most important one. And a lot of people do not realize that. And again, I talk about Otis McDonald in Chicago as a black man, Korean War vet, decorated, wants a handgun to protect his family. Crime is rampant, and they wouldn't give it to him. Has to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, wins, and they still won't give it to him. And we talk about this all the time at my schools that if the majority of the minorities in the state of New Jersey were to rise up and get their firearms ID cards and purchase a rifle, a pistol, a shotgun, or not even purchase anything, our politicians would take note. They'd say, "Oh my God, we have 6 million more people with firearms ID cards. We better start paying attention to these people." But right now, they just get rolled over. Eddie, you made a great point about in the inner city, we have tons of law-abiding citizens that live in the densely populated inner cities that have to every day get up and go to work, and they can't defend themselves or their family. New Jersey, you were talking, Sue Ann, about like stand your ground.
Right.
New Jersey, we do not have a true castle doctrine. For you people that are listening that do not know this, in New Jersey, if you were in your home and I break into your house and you're home alone and you have a door in your kitchen that egresses to a safe location, you are obligated in New Jersey to retreat out of your own home. If I am stealing your property, you are obligated to hold the door open for me so I can carry your TV and computer out. Okay? You can only use deadly force in New Jersey if you are in clear and imminent danger with no safe means of escape.
Which
who
means
determines that?
which means the bullet is probably already in your body.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know that. Now, Sue Ann, if you're in your kitchen and there's children or a niece or nephew upstairs and you fear for their life, I cut a path
Absolutely.
off, then you could use deadly force. But
So we have to think about all of this
Correct.
when someone breaks into our
correct,
home.
I coined a term in New Jersey. We have the run and cower law.
Right.
Okay, we are supposed to run and cower from the criminals, give them what they want and run and cower. We're not supposed to stand your ground. Now, there's a lot about the stand your ground. Now, the castle doctrine comes from 12th century English law where a man's home is his castle. Sorry, ladies. But that's what they said, 900
right,
years
you can
ago.
change
Man's home is his castle, and if someone violates the sanctity of your home, you could do anything you want to protect that. We don't have that in New Jersey, and most people don't know that it does not exist. We are supposed to run and hide. Give them what they want.
If you don't have a beware of dogs sign and somebody breaks into your home and your dog bites the intruder can take you to court and
Yes.
will win.
Oh, yes, he
And
will
that happened
win.
to a friend of ours.
Yes, it did happen to someone you know?
Yes, he got sued. Someone broke into his home. His dog bit him,
Now,
and he sued.
we
And
have,
won.
like King Mike in New York, Bloomberg. They're,
Oh, my favorite.
yeah, they're trying to use the Trayvon Martin
Okay.
shooting to as a stand your ground thing.
Well,
The
take a
stand
tragedy and use it as an
and it
opportunity.
was a tragedy. Now, stand your ground has nothing to do with what happened in Trayvon Martin. I've gone on the air and TV with my opinion of it. Zimmerman is 1,000% wrong. He is not a sworn police officer. He was a community, patrol officer. He was told by dispatch, "Do not leave your car. Wait for the police to arrive." The second he opened his car door and he pursued Trayvon Martin, everything from that point on is Zimmerman's fault, and he should be held accountable for it. I don't care who punched who attacked who started first, who was fleeing. It has nothing to do with stand your ground. It has nothing to do with any of that crap. Zimmerman should not have gotten out of that car. He did not have police powers or arrest powers, okay? And because of it, a young kid is dead. Whether who attacked who, I don't know, I don't care, but Zimmerman needs to be held accountable for that. But then we have these petty politicians like Bloomberg and Feinstein and Boxer that are holding pro-gun legislation up because of the Trayvon Martin and Stand Your Ground case, but really it falls down to a Zimmerman idiot case. to be quite honest with you. Here's a wannabe cop or whatever he wanted to be, and he's driving around thinking he's in charge with a gun on. Now, it's legal in Florida for him to have a gun, but it's not legal in Florida for him to pursue somebody out of his car at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
So the law itself, though, the stand your ground law, they're trying to even blame the law. The law worked. He didn't abide by the law.
It has nothing to do with stand your ground. Would have been you walking down the street in Florida with your girlfriend, and I pull a knife and ask you for your money, and I'm taking your girlfriend.
Right.
Okay, and you can stand your ground. You do not have to back up from that point. You can use equal or greater force at that moment. That's the true definition of a stand your
So
ground law.
that's when you are threatened.
Correct.
Not you going after someone that you
Correct.
think may be threatened.
Correct. That was not his job.
Right.
So that's wash. He shouldn't be out of bail. He should be waiting, sweating in a prison cell right now, and waiting for his
And
sentence.
Blueburn runs off and uses that to basically take big gulps away, which I don't understand.
And
Well,
popcorn bottles.
Right, and as you were saying, Florida does have the concealed carry law.
Yes.
And here's an interesting statistic. 1.7 million carry permits, but they only had to revoke 167 due to gun crimes committed by permit holders.
And most of those gun crimes were petty violations, like going somewhere where they served alcohol.
Right,
It
where you're
wasn't
not
people,
allowed to
yeah,
carry.
it wasn't people brandishing guns.
No,
And
'cause
a-
guns and alcohol do not go together.
No. And a lot of people don't realize Florida was the first state in 1986 they started issuing carry permits for the citizens because of the rise in crime. In 1987, they had a very high-profile case. Us old-timers will remember it. Eddie, you won't remember it. But a German couple and their two kids, the couple was slaughtered outside Disney World in a rental car. And when they caught the two criminals, they said, "Why did you rob them?" And they said, "Well, we knew they didn't have guns because they had a rental car."
Right.
They were tourists. So in '88, Florida passed national reciprocity that you could live out of state and get a Florida carry permit. So now the bad guys don't know who has a gun. It's a surprise game for them.
Wasn't that, as it should be?
Correct, and it's spread. 31 states have reciprocity with each other now. New Jersey is what we consider a black state. New Jersey and Illinois are two states that there's no handguns allowed for anybody. And we coincidentally have some of the highest crime with Washington, D.C. There's a great book by Gary Kleck that talks about more guns, less crime.
That's right.
And all the states that have higher gun ownership have lower crime. Let's face it, Eddie, if you and I were criminals, we are not going to go to Delaware and rob a convenience store because all the citizens and all the employees are armed. We're going to go to New Jersey
Right,
and rob a convenience store because we know they can't shoot back. They have to hide behind the counter.
right. Or we become politicians.
Criminals are not stupid. They understand this, okay?
Right.
There's a town in Georgia, Kennesaw, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
They passed a city ordinance 6 years ago that every law-abiding citizen has to be armed. They have the lowest crime in the United States, Kennesaw, Georgia, with a K. You can Google it.
Okay.
They have
We can go
signs
there.
on the highway that says, "Welcome to Kennesaw, Georgia," where every citizen is armed. Eddie, would we stop there and rob a gas station? I don't think so.
think not.
I don't think so.
It makes for a lot more polite people, doesn't it?
An armed society is a polite society. Yes, I say that a lot.
Right. Well, the Republican National Convention is going to be held in Tampa, and there was a push to get rid of the concealed carry laws during that time. They felt that too many conservatives having guns in one place may be a problem. But what's the problem with that?
I go to the NRA convention every year. This year it was in Louisville, Kentucky, no, St. Louis, Missouri, and there was 85,000 people at the convention, and we were all armed, okay? I was in a restaurant, and I said to this young waiter, I said, "So, how did you like the NRA being here this week?" He goes, "Well, we all felt a lot safer." That's
that
what the
amazing?
waiter said to me, because there was no blood in the street. When Florida passed their carry law and then Texas followed suit, all of the anti-gunners said it was going to be blood in the streets. It was going to be the old West where, me and Eddie were shooting at each other in a parking lot over a parking space or
Right.
something. It doesn't happen that way.
No.
People
No
have to
one
go through
wants to
mental
use it.
health background checks, character references, fingerprints. Only criminals have guns because they've acquired them legally. Law-abiding citizens go through a huge
That's right.
process to purchase and buy guns and own guns. You have one problem, a drunken disorderly, a domestic. Eddie, if you said to your girl, "I'm going to beat you up," and she called the police and said that, they take every one of your guns and lock them up.
Yes.
And you do not get them back until you go to court and prove that it was not a problem. We have
Someone had them melted down in Belleville before the case even came up.
Oh, they'll do that. They'll destroy guns before the case.
And that's
there's-
exact
yeah,
thousands and
that's horrible.
thousands.
That's illegal, by the way.
Right,
guilty until proven
that's right.
otherwise.
They mistakenly
Yes.
got melted down.
In New Jersey, we are known as law-abiding criminals.
Right,
Okay? Because we're all criminals in New Jersey, because our gun laws are so restrictive, just like New York. So many, and California and
Right.
Massachusetts, those are like the worst
but
states.
I mean, just imagine, what is the message that they're trying to say about how, people at the Republican National Convention cannot, if you are within that area, you cannot have
They're trying to
your
paint the
weapon.
template that, they're setting up this painting of, it's the stereotype that they
Right.
want to create. If you are somewhat patriotic, I mean, look,
The Bible-holding, gun-slinging, unhinged.
Yeah, clinging
Homeland
to our-
Security basically has put us on somewhat, if you're patriotic or Tea Party, you're
Yes, we're
somewhat
on
of
a terrorist list.
You're basically a terrorist.
Not the
This is the
actual
painting that
terrorist.
they're trying to portray, because it fits their template and where they want to go.
Right.
And this
Well-
is where they want to go, it's obvious.
And thankfully, that did get struck down. The argument was we're all law-abiding citizens. We have concealed carry because we have the proper licensing to have concealed carry. So what are you saying? Suddenly, we're going to be in this, and then a large group of people always being a group of sitting ducks and easy targets, which I do want to talk about how those instances are used to promote the gun control laws.
You got it.
And how many deaths occur because nobody was there to protect anybody.
Correct.
Are we coming up on I think we're coming up on a break. Okay,
maybe.
so let's hold that thought and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Thank you. I get to read my commercial again.